Hey you guys, good morning. It's Harriet, aka Honey, and I'm just here to do another quick video and pretty much just say good morning to everybody. I'm drinking some tea and I just kind of wanted to check in with y'all. I'm going to be doing it more and more, vlogging and blogging, so be prepared for it. But I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about something that's been going on and bothering me. Hold on, I'm trying to get my hand on that thing on the phone so I can kind of be free. But anyway, I wanted to talk briefly to you guys and just kind of get some advice on how to just basically keep maintaining, how to basically not let this issue continue to take such an important role in my life, which it is right now. And if you're following me and you're subscribing to my YouTube channel, and you know, that thumbs up, that like, then you guys are pretty much have already known about this. For the new people who don't, I've been going through it with my neighbor, and a little back history on it. I'm trying not to make this video too long. A little back history on it. This is the third veteran that has been next door to me. So it's been something ongoing with these veterans. Ultimately, the other two, it really what got them. And I'm gonna tell you honestly, I don't think they were kicked out. One of them, the first one I know wasn't. She was actually relocated. But the situation had got to the point where it became drugs was really the only reason that got her. And I'm making that clear with the first one. I'm talking about the first one right now. I want to make that clear with that one. That it literally was drugs and it took 3 years, and it took everyone in the community, and I don't mean everyone exaggeratingly, but everyone in the environment kind of had to stand up, because we were living in turmoil. My father and I say we, because I live with my father, as you guys know if you're following me. We have been here for 6 years. We are the original person in this. We're one of the first. I think there's only left now because another one of the original tenants just moved out. So I think we're down to maybe 3. And no, they're not veterans. They actually came from a different part of the housing. Their housing was torn down. These were built, and they were able to move in here. And we're the first. No one has lived in our apartment. The apartment that I'm speaking of, there's been 3 people in 6 years. And so, although I do want to say that I'm upset about how the process had to end with the 2 previous people, it was handled. Life moves on. I don't know what they're doing. I don't want to get to dwelling on what that was. I just kind of wanted to give you a little backstory of how bad it's really been on one side of my wall, because I live in a townhouse, but I'm not in the middle, but I am in the middle, if you get what I'm saying, because I share a wall with 2 people. And if I was on the end, I would only have to worry about that one person, but I have to worry about 2 people. So I'm just trying to give you guys a little backstory so you can kind of understand. The person that is actually, as I'm sitting here, it's easier to describe. The person that lives on this side of me, and it's been 2 people in the 6 years, one of which I is my bae. I mean, we deal with each other. We still mess around and everything. And he only moved out because his grown child moved out and went on with doing her life. So, or he would still be here. But then the other person that moved in, kind of rowdy in the beginning, and not like purposely rowdy, but, not understanding that, especially after I know this person. I don't want to use their name, but I'm actually really good friends with them. I've been in their house. They've been in my house. We smoke together. I mean, we've had our ups and downs. And the reason I'm bringing up that person is from the gate, not even knowing that person introduced themselves to my father and myself, called my father dad, and this is a grown woman. She's old enough to be my mama. And and you know how old I am. But anyway, we built a rapport. In the beginning, it was kind of rough because she was a type of person, and still is, and that's her, where she likes to just kind of like have a lot of people around her. She's not really the person to say, hey, no, you can't come over and smoke with me. She's always cooking. You're always welcome to go get a plate. And she's Laos and Vietnamese, and so there you go. And I mean, her food is really top notch. She's taught me a lot, because my father's favorite meal is pho. Well, one of his favorite meals to eat is pho. And she can make it. We can make it. I can make it. But it actually was really good to have someone who is supposed to be making it and how they made it, to know that we were making it right. But hers was good, and just the love and the care that she put into it. But like I said, we did have a little few issues with the rowdiness and basically just late night kicking it and partying. And it wasn't like, you know, I'll say with this one, you guys, and that's why I do want to bring it up, and I'm talking a little bit about it. It wasn't like she was intentionally doing it. She just wasn't aware that, you know, it's not kind of okay to be out there at 2 o'clock and disturbing people. Point being, when I called her out on the issues that we had, and I, you know, got at her, you know, my dad got at her. It wasn't, oh, you know, it was, oh, I apologize. I didn't know I was doing that. I don't want to get kicked out. You know, I want to work with you. It was that type of situation. Between us, after that, we didn't really have any issues. And she was even considerate enough to come knock on the door. If she seen my car outside, which was at first used to bother me, because if my car's here, don't necessarily mean I'm here, and don't necessarily mean you could just come knock on my door. But anyway, you know, she was respectful. Hey, can I listen to my music? Her music has never bothered me. I've heard it a couple times when I'm emptying my garbage, because her window's open, but it sounds, you know, just like a radio, and, you know, it doesn't bother me. And actually, I've helped this woman in cleaning her home and everything. I don't want to get into her business because that's not the point of this story. But I just kind of wanted to give you some backstory about my other neighbors. It really hasn't been that, and if it had been, I feel that the situation that I'm about to bring up to you would have been able to be handled differently. Being that, on this other side, which is my left, as I'm sitting, as you guys see me, I'm pointing that way. It's been turmoil for about 6 years. Mind you, the other two people, we actually had some dealings with, we actually got along with. Like I said, with the first woman, she had daughters. I helped her there. She was going through a lot with that. I mean, I know that these people can have PSTD. I get all that. I know there's mental health. We all have issues, blah, blah, blah. And being the person that I am, if you get at me, there's no reason to not give you the shirt off my back if you need it. You know what I mean? That's the person I am. If your kids need to eat and I got it, I'm going to make sure the kids eat. So that was the person I tried to be, especially knowing that woman. Boom, that situation went, you know, and the only thing I'll say about that is I hope that the children will grow up, and I hope they're okay. I'll leave that there. The next person, and I want to use the word nigga, and I am going to use the word nigga because that's exactly how he acted. And he thought he was a pretty boy. From the gate, he was beating up on his baby's mom, and he was doing it out there in the streets. The person that was living here before, the woman that's living here, who was my boyfriend at the time, we witnessed a lot of stuff together. He's seen a lot. He can sit here and tell you that he's witnessed stuff with this new person too. But anyway, you know, that situation was so hard for me because the woman was ignorant too. You know, there was a reason they were together. But ultimately with that, within the first year, she was gone. And she was here. He was taking care of his son. His son was coming over on the weekends because I believe the woman worked or something. Well, it don't matter. And nope, his son didn't bother me. It was him. And it was the fact that he thought he was a bachelor. He thought I'm popping collars, you know, I'm a veteran. He just thought that he was just too cocky. And in doing his cocky, he was slipping up. But with him, towards the end, it kind of got better because the people around him, they loved me so much, they wanted to be all in my house. And they wanted me to come over there, and me and him, you know, we don't really get along. But towards him moving out, he just started changing, and he was speaking to me every day. There was a few times I would go empty my garbage, and he was like, "Can I get that for you?" And I'm like, "Oh no, yeah, I got this, you know." But that's how it was towards the end, which made me and my dad sit down and say, "Hey, if this man would have had any more character of what we seen towards the end, we would have been able to get along." You know what I mean? But it was really so bad to where this guy, whose home was supposed to be for him and his child, and, well, the baby's mama, but predominantly for him and his son, he built a studio. Now, I've shown you guys my apartment. I'm not going to take that tour now. We'll do many more tours. It is a townhouse, but it's a small townhouse. The walls are thin. These are what they call, I think you guys have seen them, I used to call them the house on wheels. And that's the best way I can describe it. I think they're called fabricated homes. But they're literally homes, like they're built like storage containers that they just drop on each other and they put them together. So it's a new thing that they're trying to do. I believe we were told, on my lease it says it, but it was an idea from Boise, Idaho. The owners, this was their vision. So it kind of, if you come and look around, which I've shown you, it kind of looks like maybe if you went to, I know what Boise, Idaho looks like. I've been there. I'm kind of trying to think more of like Phoenix. It's bare. I mean, there's trees and stuff, but it's kind of more like they wanted it to look more desert. But it don't bother me. I don't care. Anyway, so being that I said that, is that I know that there's certain things that sometimes you have to suck up. But I also know the difference between someone living their life and just living, and the difference between someone intentionally doing things. Point being, this is where I'm at with this one. And I'm going to tell you that I feel it's a little race obligated. This isn't to anybody. You guys know I love you. But it's a white girl and I'm a black girl. I'm 5'2", but yes, I'm overweight. You could see it. She's a little taller than me, but she's really skinny. She looks like she's, if I could tell you honestly, and I'll try to get a picture of her from a distance so you can see what I'm talking about. But, you know, she's taller than me, but she's really skinny. You would think she was on drugs. Doesn't matter. The point being with me is that she's been really ignorant. It's been the music, the bumping, the pounding, the banging. Mind you, during the day, I know that I have to kind of be lenient. But at night, when it's dark outside and I'm resting, why do I have to hear your household? And it's been going on since May of last year. And it's just escalated to the point where even she's been doing some unfortunate complaints on our household. And, you know, we've been here for 6 years. The 2 complaints that we had got are BS in 6 years. One was, well, they weren't complaints, they were warnings. Let me clarify. Because the housing wanted us to clarify, because, you know what I'm saying, we was going to go off. Well, we're not giving you a complaint, we're warning you, because I was pounding on my wall. This woman would slam her closet continuously. So, of course, I'm going to pound on my wall. You would think the first time you would get, oh, you know, okay, this person obviously is hearing me, they're having a problem with it. Either come get at me or knock off what you're doing. It escalated. And I mean, it's went to you guys where, and I'm not exaggerating, where we were going back and forth for about 2 hours. And this was late at night. And then we'll get to the point where the music comes on. And my whole thing is, I know that I sound like a suburban, downstairs, upstairs. I have stereos, I have speakers, I have all that. But my neighbors don't need to hear that. I don't need to disperse my neighbors. When I turn on my radio, most of the time, you guys, I'll listen to my Alexa. Because I don't even want a neighbor to be like, we hear your music. You know what I mean? Because these walls are thin. And more than that, it doesn't, for me, I don't have to pound my music. If I really want to pound my music, thank God I'm blessed. I have a car. I could go out there and get it in. And, you know, it's just being courteous. You know what I'm saying? The music I listen to, whether the next man does, he may not want to hear that all the time. So it started with that. Late night. Early morning. I mean, I'm talking, you guys, it's still black outside. You know what I mean? And so, within that, I just started playing my music. And of course, because I outpounded her, that was the issue. I had to get at the manager about that. Well, yeah, I'm going to turn my music up loud enough so that I'm drowning her out. They told me they didn't want me doing that. Okay. They didn't want me pounding on the wall. Fine. Handle the situation, and we won't have to do that. So amongst that, in between the complaining, one day she had the nerve, and I'm going to be quick about this because I already told that story, to be on my patio with her son. He was down there doing chalk. Why are you on my patio? Now think of me, and if she came and opened her door, and I'm standing on her patio with my child or with my friend or just myself, you'd be like, why the fuck are you on my patio? What are you doing? You would think that I'm probably trying to set you up or do something to you. And being the female I am, and had already been telling you it was starting to get hazy with her, I came at her and said, hey, please, I'm asking you nicely, stay off my property. If you do not, I'm going to call the police or I'm going to call the management. Well, in me saying that, she wanted to think that she could just come out the side of her neck. Fine, dandy, to each his own. So it went back. It didn't really get that much back and forth because I wasn't dumb and I know what she was trying to do. She was trying to get me to sock her in the face. So other than that, I said, turn around, and I went in the house. My father wasn't home. I called him. He said, no, you need to call the manager. I proceeded to do that. In proceeding to call the manager, and I had to get her number. She's outside with my neighbor next door, this one, running her mouth and not being forthcoming. So, and these are called the common areas. I go out there and I say to my neighbor by her name, and the white girl's looking like, huh? Yeah, you didn't know. Don't get involved. You know me and my dad. We don't bother nobody around here. You know what I'm saying? She has no right discussing our household. That's going to cause a problem. That's what it did. In me saying that, she wanted to try to be about it and not let me speak. My homegirl over here, who was going to tell me what happened even if I didn't go out there, little does she know, grabbed me. Hey, I got your back. You don't have to worry about that. I know the people you are. You guys have been here longer than me. She's out of pocket because she has no right even talking about your household. And what if I didn't know you? That's a conflict there. What if I didn't know you and then I started having feelings towards you because of what she said? Bada, I'm not dumb. I'm very smart. And that was my whole point of going out there and telling her, hey, we don't do that here. My problem with her is my problem with her. Her problem with me is her problem with me. Ain't no about Jim, John, and Jacob, Juma Smith ain't all involved in it. And she was out of pocket for that. So that's what made me amp up to get on my manager more. Now she's out here escalating the situation that if I don't hear you, we have no situation. You're disrupting our household. You're doing it intentionally because when we've told you to stop, you continue to do it. And the whole point about it was, then it went to, because she was getting written up, and it was stated to both parties, which we're not concerned about, but we needed to know, and I'm glad we did know, is if you get 3 write-ups in a year, boom, you're gone. I know for a fact she has 2. So in her mind, she's probably thinking at this point, and I'm going to give that much credit. This is where you'll hear me give some credit, but I'm not that bitch. But in her mind, she's probably sitting there saying, well, now they're going to do whatever they want to do to get me kicked out. Now, and I'm telling you, I give you that much credit. We're not the people. People are like that. And you know what? I could probably do that. There's other things I wanted to do. But I'm not that person. My whole thing is, a lot of people here, most of the people here that I know of, they were homeless. You wouldn't really be on Section 8 unless you know what I'm saying? You didn't have trials and tribulations. You know what I mean? Her coming in here, stunting and thinking, I don't know what she thought. The only excuse I kept getting from her is that I have a son and I have PSTD. But anyway, she came in here on something. I'll tell you, with the past other 2 veterans, they came in here on something. I don't know if you thought you were just better than everybody because, hey, I'm a veteran. No, you're on Section 8. If you was better than everybody, you wouldn't be on Section 8. We don't live like that. Now, if you come to my home, you'll see my home. Everybody has told me, wow, yeah, I know how I live. I'm not a product of my environment. Renton, Washington, their projects, I'm trying to tell you, I'll take you all around. And matter of fact, that's a good video, is take you around. They're not really projects. I mean, they're really decent. You know what I'm saying? I think they're overpriced because this one, market rate. When we moved in here, he was $900, and that was 6 years ago. He's moved up to like $1,100. I wouldn't pay $1,100 for this at all. But I mean, I guess if I could afford it, I wouldn't want to be in the street. But you know what I mean? It wasn't worth. It's not worth what I feel. It's really small. I've lived in way bigger townhouses, and they. I mean, I'm telling you, it's been years. But I mean, the last one I lived in, oh man, and I had 3 bathrooms, $750 a month. Now, he didn't look the best on the inside, and he probably needed a lot of work inside because we ended up having roaches, but they were kind of like dormant. So we lived there for about 2 years. We didn't really start seeing them until we got a nasty neighbor, and we think that's where the apartment, where they kind of had the nest. Because actually when we moved there, we were supposed to get that apartment, but that apartment wasn't ready. But we didn't stop and think, we didn't care, Anyway, off of the subject. But I do love my home. It's new. I'm the only person I can honestly say here. I'm the only person that's ever lived here. So that kind of just makes me tip my hat. And I've kept it up. I mean, we have inspections twice a year. So I don't know, how your guys is for the other people that are in housing and stuff. But I'm even told, like, when you buy condos and even now buying houses, like, there's certain upkeep, there's certain things that you even have to do owning, in your community, because I was told you can be kicked out if you're not doing certain standards with your home. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let me wrap this up because I'll sit here telling you about an hour. But I really just kind of needed to vent and get some advice because I'm trying to keep continuously doing the right thing. So with her, not only did it escalate to that, it escalated to her boyfriend live-in who's not supposed to be here. That's neither here or there. Me and my father really don't care about that. If we never had an issue with her and you got 50 dudes in there, as long as they're not bothering my household, I don't care. But this is what housing's about, you guys. So you're getting a little piece of why things are the way, or if you ever wonder why are they trying to do this, why are they trying to do that, because it's the little percentage of people, and I don't even want to take it to 20%. I want to leave it at 10. But you guys might know a little bit better than me, just from watching in my community. And like I said, if you came around here, they're low income, so what? But you wouldn't really be like, oh yeah, these are projects. But when you walk into the houses, these people live so terribly. And I don't want to get into dwelling on that because I just never understood people that don't get up and go to work, how your house could look the way it looks, For my health, it's not even about my health, my safety. My house has to, if I can't walk in my house and get to my kitchen, then I don't feel well, I'm depressed, I don't want, so maybe that's just me. So that's why I wanted to say that. Maybe I'm just that person. And, but anyway, let me wrap up. There's so much I've been wanting to say. But anyway, let's stick to the story. So, my car got vandalized. She's been trying to have... He looks Arabian, because I did make this joke that you was over there fucking them, huh, when you were supposed to be killing them. But I think he might be Mexican or something mixed, but whatever, he think he a thug. There's no telling what she done ran her mouth and told him. And I'm presuming that's his son because I hear the boy say dad, and it probably is. And so he's probably feeling like, I got to protect my son. Okay, well, I got 2 points I want to make on that, and I'll keep it brief. For one, you shouldn't have had to hide him. Because when she moved in here, he wasn't helping you. So who I don't understand that. Because he had every right to help you move in with his son. But it was like people want to be so slimy and nasty and dirty, and then they be ignorant. I have dirt on you. Because all I really need to sit out there, you guys, is pop a camera out there for a couple weeks, and that's proof that you got someone living with you that's not on the lease. But I ain't that bitch. I'm not going to do that. But you vandalized my car. Not once, but twice. That's okay. I'm only saying that's okay because I know in retaliating that would have been worse for me. Because as an adult now, it's not like, yeah, I can go fight her. I can go beat her up. I can go get a couple high school girls to go whip her butt. You know what I mean? Real deal Holyfield. But it's the consequences. Because, yeah, I could get that ass, but then what happens if I go to jail? What, all these other things. So that's why I'm coming at you guys, because I'm trying to keep my sanity. And I know that she's trying to do these things for me to sock her in the face. And what's so funny is I keep saying to myself, and I've talked to God repeatedly about it, because I do believe this person, is that little do you know, I will see you in the streets. There will come a time, I'll see you at the grocery store. I'm going to see you at Walmart. I'll see you somewhere. And you just better pray and hope that God is all the way in me, because we are not on the housing property. Now, what happens in the streets, that's going to be in the streets. I'll have to deal with that, and I don't want to take it that way. That's why I'm getting a job. I don't want to take it that way. I kind of just want her to suck it up, because not only does she understand, even if we ended up getting a complaint, because that's the end of my story that I'm going to get to you. Even if we end up getting a complaint, you have one more. You feel me? So I can have two, as long as I don't get that three. But you already have two. So you're about to get the third one, and you're going to be out that door. Now, that will put me in hot water if I do get two, which means the next person, no matter who they are, no matter what they do, and they can be worse, because that's what it seems to keep happening from number 1, 2, and 3, that it got worse, 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 worse. And, so there's pros and cons to everything. So, in point of saying that, I don't understand why you keep starting and you keep escalating. Now, I've even said to myself, maybe there's inner issues. I understand you got PSTD. I don't really know what else to say. I don't want to hear the excuses about the PSTD. I don't want to hear the excuses about you raising your child. You made them choices. You made the choices to go in the army. So I don't really care about them excuses. I'm sorry, I'm not that female. I'm sorry, not that female. You made your choices. You make your bed, you lay in it. But at my point, I just want the peace. I don't like you. I probably never will like you, especially for what you did to my vehicle. But I do want to respect you and respect your home, and I just want to be in peace, because I'm not going to move because you're mad because you effed up. And what more than that I can't seem to understand is, if you know that you're doing these things and it's been blatantly put to you, what would make you keep continuously to do them in your head? I just don't get it, because then you know that we're going to complain. And I don't seem to understand why you think that's not okay. I don't like being woken up at midnight. I don't like being woken up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, because I would never do that to anybody. And if there was a reason that I needed to disrupt somebody's household at that time, I'm the person. I'll knock on your door. I'll leave a note, because you may not answer your door. I might not answer my door at midnight, but that's the person I am. If there was some reason I needed to disrupt your household when it's pitch black outside, and you feel me? I would be respectful about it. And even then, if you got at me, I would be, oh, you know what, boo-boo, I was doing this. You know what, I apologize for that. I should have got at you. That's the person I am. But I don't want to be like that punk feeling, you guys. That's what I'm talking to you about. But I know I have to respect the rules. I know I can't let her take me to that realm. But it's kind of like, man, I feel like I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. But I'm praying on it. I'm going to keep praying on it. I'm going to keep doing the right things. I just wrote the manager, me and my father and I, another letter asking yet again, not complaining. We're asking. So I can switch the game up. We're asking if you could just tell her again, because it will start complaining again. Knock it off. Cease. Because what's going on to me is that you're stopping because you got complained. And then in your head, or maybe it may not even be her head. It might be someone else putting it in her head. Oh, well, you could just go right back to doing what you're doing. And that doesn't make sense to me, because if I got one complaint about it, there wouldn't be another. There wouldn't be another. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm kind of like I'm trying to say there must be some inner issue. But why does that have to be my inner issue? Why does that have to be my household's inner issue? Kobe Bryant just passed away. Rest in peace, baby. Does that mean that I have the right to go out there because I might be upset that he passed away and put all my anger and upsetness on the world? Goodness. Yesterday, when I was on my way home, almost got in an accident by somebody going through a red light. Now, would that have been okay for me to come home and because I'm mad and maybe got my life messed up, my car messed up, would that have been okay for me to take that out on the next man because I'm pissed off? Or, my brain's not okay today, because we all are stressed. I have anxiety. I have depression. I'm depressed today. Does that mean I could go out this world and be depressed with everybody else? No. The saying you got to, and my dad raised me, no matter how bad you feel, you have to put a smile on. You got to wash your face. You got to put yourself together. And I'll tell you this. Now, it didn't work 9 times out of 10. But at least 6 times out of 10, it did work. And, I love my home. I love being in my home. I love to come home and watch TV, clean, cook. I'm cooking a lot. And I want to be able to enjoy my home because that's what I provide for everybody else. Nobody would ever say, and I don't care how you feel about looking at me, I don't know if I look like a thug. I don't know all that. But no one would ever say that I did anything to disrupt their home, whether intentional or not. And if you ever heard my music, whether I was listening to jazz or gospel, whatever, and you said to me, hey, it is disrupting me, I couldn't be ignorant about it. And I'm telling you, and I'm going to say this, and you know what I mean, fuck my landlord. I can do what I want to do. Now, in doing that, there's consequences. But I'm saying the person I am, it wouldn't be that. It'd be, oh, okay. And I would be like, well, if you ever hear me again, or come get at me, you know what I mean? Because I'm going to work on not bothering you again. But, hey, we're human. But it's just so much stuff, and I just feel like, you guys, this is something I shouldn't have to keep continuously living with and dealing with. And I've even called it out to my management. Are you living with someone that's